And now, more of the Not So Perfect Radio Show with Paige McCoy-Smith and Jennifer Lanter on the new 103.7 LITE FM.
Welcome back to the Not So Perfect Radio Show today. Of course, we're celebrating back to school. It's the happiest time of the year for us parents.
Well, for you, Paige, not for me. I like being with my little pumpkins.
For crying out loud. You know exactly what I'm talking about. You have been counting the days to get the kids out of the house and back in the classroom.
I have not for.
Of course, we really want our kids to be healthy. We want them to be healthy, and there's been a ton of attention, paid to what's been happening in the school cafeterias.
That's right. We've been talking about lunch boxes
yes,
and how cute they are, but now we get to talk about what's inside.
We're going to be talking about the actual lunch, and I'm so excited. We have a dear friend of mine, Neva Cochran, who is a registered dietitian and is founder of kidseatright.org. Neva's going to be here talking to us a little bit about the school lunch and how to kick off the school year in the right way. Hi, Neva. Welcome.
Great to be here.
I am so glad you're here. Well, as we were saying, school lunches, cafeteria lunches, they're getting a really, really bad rap. Are they as bad as what we're hearing?
No, they're not. We hear a lot of concerns, but they're not at all. In fact, people may not realize, but there are very strict federal guidelines that school nutrition programs have to follow. They have to meet guidelines for calories, fat, sodium, and vitamins and minerals. So the school nutrition personnel work really, really hard to meet these guidelines, but also to make meals that kids will eat, because it's not nutrition if it goes in the trash.
Doesn't that surprise you, though? I mean, because when I go to my kids' cafeteria, I'm seeing chicken nuggets and French fries, and I'm really not seeing a lot of really healthy choices.
Well, I mean, they may not in your mind look healthy, but if you look at the whole meal and the meals over a week, they have to average out to meeting these standards, and they really are really strict standards. But I want to give you some examples of some schools in this area that are doing some really innovative things. Hearst Euless Bedford. This is a picture that I brought of a tray that they have in school. They do sub sandwiches, and they actually do sub sandwiches like you're in a sub sandwich shop. So you can go down the line and you can pick the kinds of ingredients that you want in your sub. But it has the basic ingredients for the reimbursable lunch. It has the grain, it has the meat, it has the fruits and vegetables. And along with that, they have an apple, they have a cookie, and they have a carton of low-fat milk. So it's balanced. It has all the food groups in there, and it does meet the federal standards.
And it's so smart to do like a deli sandwich. And by the way, Neva, we love guests that bring show and tell items. And so she brought a bunch of different show and tell stuff that we'll make sure that we include on our Facebook page, which is Facebook.com/NotSoPerfectParent. We want you to come and like us because we like you. All right. So what other school districts are doing some good things?
Well, one thing is, if you're on Facebook, go to School Meals That Rock. That is a Facebook page that shows you all the innovative and creative things that all the different school districts across the country are doing. School Meals That Rock. And anybody can access that page. Now, the Plano ISD, and one of my former interns, Melissa Deuce, is a dietitian there, and she shared with me that they are doing grilled vegetable calzones now. Yum. And they also serve fresh fruit most of the day. So whatever is in season, they are having that instead of canned fruit. They even make their own whole wheat rolls. So that's in the Plano School District. And then let me just show you an example of another one that I found on School Meals That Rock. This is like a chili and bean entree, and they serve it with a homemade salsa with lettuce and some tortilla chips, cornbread, and then blueberries and apples. And then, of course, there's probably a carton of milk over here, too, because that's always part of the meal. So you see, there's a lot of interesting things that I think kids will like. You just have to be out there and looking for it.
That's true. And I want to give a plug to cafeteria ladies, because my little grandma, she worked in the school cafeteria for 40 years, and she made all the rolls and all the pastries, all the pies and everything, and she really got to know all the kids and really cared about them. And even today, my little boy goes to Tanglewood School in Fort Worth, and all those little lunch ladies know him by name, and if he's not eating right, they'll say something to him. Put that chocolate milk back and get a white milk, because you got an ice cream cone today.
Do you notice that, Tony, when she starts talking about her grandmother, that her accent kicks into such a big... Do you ever notice that? She goes, my little grandmother, she used to make the rolls and all the white bread. And
you're being ugly.
I'm just saying...
Her name was Pearl Cobbler.
And pies.
And her name, seriously, her name was Pearl Cobbler?
Yes.
Pearl Cobbler.
I always called her my little semi-precious stone. Isn't that sweet?
Well, isn't that neat?
Anywho,
Okay.
I want to tell you what I put in my little boy's lunchbox, and I want you to grade me, okay? And be totally honest, because this is important to me. I make him a turkey and cheese sandwich with usually provolone cheese on whole wheat bread, sugar-free. And then he likes carrots in there, and then the ranch dressing. And then I do either apple slices, or sometimes I try to get things that kind of stay, good in the lunch. Banana, he likes that. He always insists on fruit snacks. How bad is that?
No, that's fine. Now, is there a milk in that lunch?
There's a water, not a milk.
Okay, so that's the only thing I hear missing from that lunch is something from the dairy group.
So what is that like?
There was the cheese.
Yes.
Okay, you did have. So I give you an A for that lunch.
You do. Okay,
Yes.
Paige, your turn.
Well,
be
Pearl,
honest.
Pearl would be happy, honey. Pearl
she would.
Cobbler would be so proud.
Isn't that sweet?
You got an
Meanie
A on your.
pants?
I'm not being mean. Well, in our lunches too, we usually do ham sandwich on wheat bread with always fruit, either oranges or grapes, and maybe a little Cheeto now and then.
See, she loves Cheetos. I knew it. That's okay.
I do. I love Cheetos. A little something crunchy. And then usually they buy their milk at this lunch. Yeah.
Right.
So
it sounds like you had everything in there too.
She does not get an A. She had Cheetos in there.
No, but you had something else. Let me just explain my philosophy and the philosophy of the American Dietetic Association. It's that all foods can fit, and as long as you're getting all of the nutrient-rich foods that you need, and you're not exceeding your calories, and you're not overweight, you can have some of those extras.
Okay, yeah, her boys aren't overweight. They're little like she is.
it's all about moderation. I think that's so true. And Jennifer, I don't want to steal this question. I've been waiting for you to ask it, but you were talking about how school lunch programs across the country are making some major changes to their menu. How much of influence do you think that Jamie Oliver and his food revolution, the impact that it made on these different schools making different choices?
Well, I'll just say, first of all, that there have been federal guidelines in place for years and years and years for school lunches in the United States. So I don't think that he's really had any direct impact on that. Actually, I read an article recently that said that the schools that he's gone into in England, they've actually decreased their participation.
Really?
And so, yes, because...
That shocks me.
I mean, he's coming in and making these changes, but it's not the changes that children will accept. And I've heard a food service director in California say you can lead a child to a salad bar, but you can't make them take a carrot. So you have to keep in mind, what are the foods that children will eat? And you have to be innovative and creative in making foods that are appealing to them, but yet they're also nutritious.
Well, again, we have show and tell here, too. And what you've brought, which I love, is you've brought samples for breakfast, you've brought samples for lunch, but then you've also brought samples for the after-school snack, because that's the first thing when my kids come in.
Oh, yeah.
They just barrel through the door and they immediately go to the refrigerator. So tell us about some of the options that you have for kind of doing a whole healthy day.
Well, let's start with breakfast, since that's the beginning of the day. A lot of parents are pressed for time in the morning, so I've done some things that are really easy and fast, and you could even take in the car if you have to. This is one of Paige's favorites. It's a hard-boiled egg on a stick. You take
egg on a stick. Egg on a stick.
Hold it, Paige. I want to take her picture.
Okay, here we go. Go ahead, Neva.
And then to pair with this, to make it a complete meal, I have put some fresh fruit, topped with some low-fat yogurt and some whole grain cereal, all in a glass that you can take in the glass.
It's wonderful that they can then snack on this stuff while they're in the carpool line.
Yeah, wow, that was so weird, y'all. Paige just did. She's so talented. She was talking, but she stopped and smiled and posed at the same time, but there was not a break in the conversation.
Right. Yes.
You're I'm rock star.
Thank you. Thank you. I appreciate that. Yeah, I know. I'm sure that our listeners are impressed. Okay, moving on. So then we've talked about breakfast. And again, these are things that are portable. Now let's move on to lunch.
All right. In the lunch box here, which they're selling a lot of those expensive bento boxes, but I've kind of made my own. It's just a little plastic lunch box that you can get for $10 at a discount store. And I put my own little plastic containers in there. One of them is your protein, which is some tuna salad that we've made and put light mayonnaise and raisins in. And it's in a pita pocket, a whole wheat pita pocket.
I've never heard of the raisins in a...
I think kids will like that better than celery or onion.
We haven't taken a picture of that yet, Jennifer, so before you take a bite.
I wasn't going to take a bite. I was going to hold it up so you could see it.
Oh, wow, that's cool.
Interesting.
Cool?
So that has the protein and the grain, and then along with that, I have the little carrot slices with the low-fat ranch dip and some sliced kiwi fruit and a low-fat chocolate milk.
Yum.
Okay, because my kids beg for chocolate milk, and I always say no because of the sugar and added.
I'm so glad you brought that up.
Oh, good.
The two milks that are allowed in school now, if you're buying the school lunch, are fat-free chocolate or 1% low-fat white. Both of them are great choices. They have all the same nutrients. It's 40 more calories for the fat-free chocolate, but you still get the calcium, the protein, the riboflavin, and the other vitamins and minerals. Whether it's sweetened with sugar or high fructose corn syrup, it's all the same. It's like, look at what are you getting for your sugar? Are you getting nutrition or are you getting empty calories? So if peanut butter, if you have a little sugar or high fructose corn syrup, you're getting all kinds of protein and other good nutrients. Yogurt, you're getting lots of good nutrients.
Love yogurt.
Milk. So what I'm saying is choose your sugars by the company they keep. Are the other ingredients in that food actually going to provide nutrition? If a child is not going to drink milk, then is it better that they drink chocolate milk and get all those nutrients or no milk at all? And so I think that you have to keep that in mind. A little sugar, high fructose corn syrup, there's nothing wrong with it. It's just if they're out of balance when your total diet.
Exactly. All of this is so interesting. I cannot believe how fast the time has gone. But believe it or not, we are out of time. Okay. The good news is that we're going to have more information on our website, which is notsoperfect.com. And in addition, we're going to have these pictures of different types of lunch options, breakfast options, and snack options on our Facebook page, which is Facebook.com/NotSoPerfectParent. Neva, thank you so much for being here. Once again, her website is KidsEatright.org, sorry. And we'll have a link to that on ours at notsoperfect.com. We've got more Not So Perfect Radio on the way, so stay with us on the new 103.7 LITE FM.